Hello. So I almost didn't make this video today. I've got stains all over me. I'm kind of a mess, but we'll talk about that when we get into the products. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to make any favorites and fails, monthly favorites and fails in 2024. I just felt like the interest wasn't really there towards the end of 2023, like that content may be getting stale for you. So I would love for you to leave me your comments, your thoughts about that. Do you want to see monthly favorites and fails videos from me moving into 2024? And if not, what kind of content do you want to see? I make these videos for you, so I do take your feedback into consideration when I'm planning out my content. I decided to go ahead and make this video with my standout products that are getting me the most excited out of all the new products I've been testing that I've shared in my testing new products videos. I've tested a lot of new products lately. I have some products in here I haven't shared with you yet at all. And I've also been testing out a product that's not even launched yet that I think is going to go viral. It launches a couple of days after this video goes live. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Just because products go live doesn't necessarily mean they're great products. So I have a lot of thoughts to share with you in this video. Some really great products. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. And let's go ahead and get into my current favorite products along with one questionable one. I shared this $15 eyeshadow palette in one of my testing new makeup videos, and I am just so in love with it. It's a great everyday palette that has one particular standout shade in it that I just can't get enough of. This is the Sephora Precious Gemstones palette in the shade Pearl. There are a few other color stories to choose from, but this is the one that I just love. It's such a great neutral, easy to wear palette. I do get some kick up just a little bit on my brush, but if I tap my brush off before I apply it to my lids, it blends out beautifully. Now, I said I was kind of a mess when I started today's video. Part of it is because I'm testing some new products. And when I first sat down to film, I had a cream product on my eye that was not performing well. So before I actually started filming, I pressed out the creases and I just took this beautiful duochrome shade here and lightly pressed it to my lids, and it gave me the effect that I wanted. I just wanted that sheer wash, that glowy pearlescent look that's so lovely. This has become one of my favorite one and done shades. There are 2 regular shimmer shades in here and 4 mattes. It's just a great neutral little palette. You get a lot of bang for your buck. I'll have my testing new makeup video, both of them, linked up in the corner and down in my description box too, so you can see more close-up shots of me wearing this and more detailed information on this and the other few products that I'm sharing that I have in those videos too. And as always, the products I'm sharing today and wearing will also be listed and linked in my description box. Let's go ahead and talk about these new Milk Makeup Cooling Water Jelly Tints. These launch 2 days from when this video goes live, and this is what has been on the back of my hand. I've washed my hands a couple of times and put lotion on. This is still here, and this is what these looked like right after application. From bottom to top, we have Spritz, Chill, Burst, and Splash. This is a very innovative product. This is not your typical stick blush, and that's part of the reason why I think these are going to go viral. There is another reason that we'll get to here in a second, but you can see this has a wiggly, bouncy, kind of jelly consistency to it that leaves a stain. This is what my finger and my thumb look like after just barely touching it, and this is not going anywhere. This will not budge until I get a makeup wipe or wash my hands probably 2 or 3 times really, really well. That's the other reason why I think these are going to go viral. I think some people are going to absolutely love these. I think others are going to think they're not worth the trouble. If you're someone who likes to swipe your cheek stick product on, blend it out and go, this is probably not going to be the product for you. I know they show that on Milk Makeup's Instagram. I tried that and it was a no-go. It was a big fail. It just would not blend out. It dried down way too fast and stained. Now, my typical way to apply cream or stick or liquid blushes is to spread them onto the back of my hand and swirl my brush or sponge into them and then dab it onto my face and apply it that way. You cannot do that with this because it just stains your hand and sets sets down. So what I found works best is to take my cream blush brush and swipe it through the product. And I do just kind of barely stamp it onto the palm or the back of my hand just to make sure I don't have any excess splotch of product that's gonna set down on my cheek, because if that sets down, it's not going anywhere, which is no good. So I go in with a very, very light amount of product to lay down a very sheer layer, and it diffuses nicely. And if I need to add more, I'll do the same thing with another very sheer amount of product. So this is what Chill and Spritz look like on my bare skin. No primer, no foundation, nothing. I don't think I have a stitch of makeup on here. I just wanted to start playing around with them. And what I have on today over my foundation is Burst, which clearly looks different on my cheeks than it does here in the tube. There are pros and cons to these, which is why this is my questionable product. Now, if you nail down the application, it looks really beautiful. It's very sheer, kind of blurring, and it looks very natural. They're a little bit tricky. If you mess up, it's pretty much stuck there because it's a stain. But if you nail that application, it's really pretty, and it is not going anywhere. So if you live in a hot, humid climate like I do, or if you have an all day, all night event, this could be your best friend. But again, only if it is applied correctly from the get-go. It's not a product that quickly applies and is good to go without a little practice, in my opinion anyway. I've seen one other review on this, Kelly Gooch, and she pretty much said the same thing, so I was glad that I wasn't alone. Oh, I did try this on my lips too. I wanted to mention that, and it stains to kind of a dry stain that was kind of uneven. I'm not a big fan of these on my lips, so personally I would stick to cheeks, but I wanted to go ahead and give you my thoughts on this in case some of you want to pick up a shade or two and see if it's worth getting that application down. You may find it's easy, or you may not think it's worth the trouble, but if you want a product that is going to be truly bulletproof all day and all night, this is probably a good go-to product for you. Just know you have to work really quickly. One of my very favorite underrated brands of all time, Persona, added 3 new shades to her 24-hour waterproof eyeliner line. Now, when I first got these, I thought they were 3 shades of earthy brown, but one is actually a warm gray that's really quite stunning. So I added basically 3 more stains to the back of my hand, because these also don't budge. They don't go anywhere, yet they glide on beautifully, and you do have a little bit of time to smoke it out, smudge it before it sets down, and you can move to the other eye. I do advise working one eye at a time if you are someone who likes to smudge or smoke out your eyeliner like I do. So this shade right here is Graphite, which is a neutral metallic smoky gray, but there is some definite warmth there. The middle shade is Chocolate, which is a warm true brown. And this shade right here that has a little bit of sheen to it is Stone, a warm metallic earthy brown. I think all 3 shades are great additions to her line. I am someone who loves a brown eyeliner ranging from a mid-toned shade all the way to a black brown, and these are beautiful. Her formula is great. It is waterproof, sweat resistant, budge proof. It lasts all day. And since I got these are the pencil eyeliners that I've been reaching for on a daily basis. I feel like every time Persona has some kind of a launch, here I am raving about it, but I just think she does such great things with her brand, and these are no exception. I rediscovered what was once one of my favorite pinky beige lip liners that I had kind of forgotten about because it was out of stock for so long. I don't know why that was, but I checked Pat McGrath's website and it is there now. Done Undone is the shade. I absolutely love it. It's just that perfect pinky beige tone. I think it looks darker here in this clip because it was kind of overcast where I was sitting at my vanity, but it's just a great pinky beige neutral, and her lip liner formula is so nice. It's creamy and lets you overline your lips without it looking obvious that you overline. Her lip liners don't bleed and they adhere to your lips really nicely to help hold on to whatever products you put on top even longer. So I'm just really glad that I rediscovered this and I've been using it again and loving it. So that brings me to a lip combo that I've really been liking. So this is Ravi Beauty Lily, which is also a great neutral pink brown. I think I reapplied this right before filming. I'll just lightly put it on now. I love the shape and size of these. They're creamy, comfortable. They also smell nice. They're also nourishing and flattering. And the shade Lily just basically goes with any look I'm putting together. So I've been loving that over Done Undone and Pixie Lip Lift Max in Sheer Rose. This was in my stash. I pulled it out and I forgot what a great pinky brown shade it was. And so this whole combo I've really been enjoying. There's a nice minty scent to these, but they don't sting or burn. They fill out lip lines and nourish and moisturize, and they're just flattering and have nice pigment. I've shared this product before, how it's just as good as any high-end gloss or light lip plumping formula. Not this shade in general, but just the formula. It's really good, and I just love this neutral shade, and this combo is one I've been reaching for this month, and I just thought I'd share it with you. I have more makeup here to talk about, but I want to go ahead and give you my update that I owe you on the Glow Recipe Cloudberry Bright Essence Toner. I had only been using it about a week when I shared it in my testing new beauty products or makeup products video, and it was really agreeing with my skin, but obviously since it's skincare, I need to be using it longer before I can give you my true verdict, and my verdict is that I absolutely love it. It has a pretty watery texture to it that is dripping everywhere, as you can see, but I just take it and press it into my face, my neck, and my chest. I usually do about 2 pumps, and that is still not wiping away the stains, the eyeliner, or the lip liner. Just a side note there. It's made to address dullness, dryness, and uneven texture, and because it's an essence, it's also supposed to help the products that you apply after it absorb better. This is the first step that I've been doing right after cleansing. It feels really good and nourishing, and I do feel like my skin is looking brighter and more even. It doesn't flare up my rosacea, and my sensitive skin is doing really, really well with it. So Cloudberry Concentrate has vitamin C and E to brighten and hydrate skin. It's got coenzyme Q10, which is an antioxidant that helps strengthen your skin. It's also got a 5% glycerin and rice water to moisturize, hydrate, and nourish your skin. And over time, it's supposed to help with hyperpigmentation as well. And I just feel like this is doing great things for my skin. And so I'm going to continue to use it. I've said before that I have great luck with most of Glow Recipes products. I don't know what it is with my skin and this brand, but I have repeat purchased several of their products, and this is one that as of this time, as of several weeks of using this, that would be a definite repurchase for me. I'm beyond thrilled with it. This has been a great addition to my skincare routine. Now, since I shared this in one of my testing new makeup videos, I have reached for it so much more than I thought I would. I don't know why that's a surprise with as much as I love Smashbox Cali Contour, but I love this just as much. This is the new Smashbox Halo Sculpt and Glow face palette. I got it in Back to Cali. There are 4 different options. If you want to see these shades compared to Cali Contour, you can go check out my testing new makeup video that's linked up in the corner and down in my description box, because I did compare them. But basically, the quality is great. This is just so slim and compact. It's easy to reach for, easy to use for an all-in-one face palette. I have 2 options for blush to use separately or blend them and use them together. I can use this for a bronzer, and in a pinch contour, it is a little bit on the warm side, but I'm not someone that always uses contour. I use bronzer pretty much on a daily basis, so this is perfect, and this highlighter is absolutely beautiful. Now, I have played around with all 4 of these. I have light medium skin tone, and I think I got the perfect one for my skin tone with Back to Cali. So if you have a similar skin tone to me, I don't think you can go wrong here. If you're lighter or more fair and you like these tones, you could use less dense brushes or use a lighter hand. Or I think pink saturation would be perfect for you. It was a little bit too light for me. If you're slightly deeper than I am, maybe medium to tan, coral saturation is beautiful. I loved that one, and it almost works for me, but the highlight is a gold tone, and I just don't do well with gold tone highlighters. If it weren't for that, I would actually really love that one, but I think it's perfect for medium to tan skin tones, and berry saturation is perfect for deeper skin tones. But I'm loving the quality, loving having everything at my fingertips for multitasking. I've also used this on my eyes. It works beautifully, and it's great for travel. Now, when I do feel the need to contour, this new contour powder from Sephora collection is $14, and it's been fantastic. This is what I've been using. There are also 4 shade options to choose from here. I have light medium, there's one for fair to light skin tones, one for medium to deep, and one for deep to dark skin tones. I ran out of my Kevyn Aucoin medium sculpting powder a long time ago, and I never replaced it because the contour powder that I use is the one that's in my Smashbox Cali contour palette. But I always felt like I would probably replace the Kevyn Aucoin medium sculpting powder, but with this, I don't feel the need to. It's got that gray undertone to it that helps create that contoured shadow look. That's what you want in a contouring powder. It's very smooth and it's buildable. That's what I like. It's got a little bit of sheerness to it that allows you to build it and not have a big mishap right when you go in, a big, patchy spot that you have to blend out. Not bad for $14. I also demonstrate this in one of my trying new makeup videos. If you want to check that out, it is linked in the corner and down below. I had no idea how many of you were also loving these Too Faced Kissing Jelly Glosses until I shared them in one of my recent videos. I cannot get enough of these. These are one of my favorite products from the past probably 2 months. They're just so fun, and I think I said in that video I felt like they were very nostalgic because they kind of reminded me with their scents of something from, I don't know, like the 80s or the early 90s. They smell like, cotton candy, pina colada and raspberry, or whatever, the scent is that I'm applying. They're very sheer. They have a nice plush texture. I love them. So in that video, I swatched these on my lips and I shared that 3 had this micro glitter sheen kind of iridescence to them and 3 didn't. You can't feel it, but you can kind of see it. Some people may like it, some people may not. And I just wanted to share which ones I wear the most. So the one I probably reach for the most is the blue one, Cotton Candy, which came as a surprise to me too. I thought this was going to read as blue on my lips, but it doesn't. And I love the taste and the scent. Also surprising is Pina Colada because it's got that glimmer in it, but it's really pretty in my opinion. I really like this one too. And Watermelon. This to me smells and tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Love this one. So these are my 3 most used, most worn that I wanted to share with you. If you just want a little treat for yourself or for someone else, you cannot go wrong with these. These are so much fun. I think anyone would like them. They might question them at first and think they're for young kids, but they're not. They are so fun. Now, in the video where I shared Maybelline Build-A-Brow Brow Pen, I was thrilled with it, but I had a couple of people point out that you don't get that much for your money because there is also a brow gel on the end. In that video, I also talked about how the brow gel is just okay. It's more of a soft formula. It's not one that has a very strong hold, and I talked about how I might even take the gel part off and use this as a spoolie because I do like having a spoolie on the end of my eyebrow pens or pencils to comb through my brows. I clearly haven't done that yet. I still have the brow gel on the end, even though it's a softer formula. That's okay. So even though this is maybe not the best buy at the drugstore, it is so hard to find really, really good brow pens that give you that precision, that actually mimic a brow hair and don't go into Groucho Marx brow territory. It's a tricky product to formulate correctly, and they have done it. This is one of my favorite brow pens, even though you may not get much for your money. I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna get out of this, but the formula is terrific. I have been using this or my Valentino. I mean, talk about 2 ends of the spectrum, but as of now, they're my 2 favorites. I'm just able to use the exact right amount of pressure, not too much, not too little, and they both give me natural looking brows that don't end up too dark or too heavy, which is very easy to do with the brow pen. So I stand by this, even though you may get just, not as much as you would with another drugstore brow pen that's not formulated as good. I've been testing out some products from the brand Florasis for the first time. I've never tried products from them before, but I've seen them and I didn't realize that's who this was. I have a lot of products to still test out, but I have tried several, and these two I wanted to just chat with you about really quickly. So let's talk about this powder first. And before I get into it, I was a little bit surprised by the price point. They are not an inexpensive Asian beauty brand, but from what I understand, their quality is really there. And I do have to say that I was very, very impressed at how well it was packed in shipping and how quality everything feels and looks in person. So I'm there with that. This is the airbrushed tinted pressed powder from the Nomadic Glam collection. Both pieces are from the Nomadic Glam collection. This powder is really interesting. It's very silky, very airbrushing, smoothing, and gives kind of a soft focus effect. I'm able to use it on my combination skin, but also on my dry under eyes. I've set my under eye area with it and it was beautiful. Even though it's tinted, I don't usually use tinted powder to set my face or my under eyes, but it has worked beautifully. It's also an oil absorbing, mattifying powder that doesn't look powdery, and it's water repellent, and yet it's designed to keep moisture in your skin too. So I have a little bit of shine going on, and I'll just blot with it really quickly. And I feel like you can see how it diffuses and blurs as I touch up with it right here. It's a really beautiful, silky, non-powdery powder that I've been very impressed with. But there is a catch. It's an Asian brand, so their shade ranges a lot of the times are very limited. And I've discovered upon trying a few lately that the deepest a lot of them go with their shades is about my shade level, which is what this shade is. This is the deepest it goes. I'm in Z25 Lotus, so take that for what you will. The powder is great. It's really nice if you are my skin tone or lighter. I know brightening your skin is a big thing with Asian beauty, so maybe that's why all their shades are so fair, so pale. There was a concealer that I was ranting about once for not having a big shade range, and a lot of you let me know that was the reason why, because it was an Asian line, and so their shade range was very limited and on the paler end of things. So if you weren't aware of that, I just wanted to let you know. Also, this Into the Wild palette from the Nomadic Glam collection, it is very pretty, and there is not much kick up from this palette. I thought it was probably going to be a big mess, but it really wasn't. This is what I had on in a video earlier this week. For my crease and transition and my lower lash line, I combined this shade and this shade. I put this shade in my inner corner, and this blue shade is what I had on my lid and blended into my crease as kind of a one and done shade. I first applied it dry, and it applied pretty sheer that way, and I wanted more pigment. So I just spritzed my brush with a moisturizing spray. It was my e.l.f. Coconut Mist, and it turned out to be the most stunning shade. I almost want to tell you this palette is worth it for this shade alone. I do not have another shade in my collection that looks like this. It's so pretty. Again, used wet, but it applied so quickly and so beautifully with a flat brush, spritzed again with a spray. Now this shade is a pretty sheer brown shade, but again, I spritzed my brush to wet it and it deepened it so that I could use it as liner. I played with this palette several times and it's really surprised me. I didn't expect much from it, but like I said, this blue-green aqua shade really blew me away. I love it so much, and the other shades were just so easy to work with. And you know, it did take playing around just to see the versatility and all that, but I really like these two products. I'm still playing around with some things from the brand, so we'll see about those, but these two are winners. The dainty heart necklace that I have had on is from Dean Davidson's new Valentine's Day collection. You do still have time to get items shipped before Valentine's Day. And as always, you can save 15% on your first purchase with my code. I have my link and my code down in my description box for you. There are some really unique pieces in this collection, some classic pieces, and today I just paired them with some of my favorite Dean Davidson hoops. I'm not usually one for heart jewelry, but I really love their collection this year. It's worth checking out. Thank you in advance for your thoughts on the monthly favorites, whether you want to keep seeing that or something else in its place. I really appreciate your feedback on that. I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. A special thank you to my Stephanie Marie Circle members. Thank you so much for going above and beyond to support me and the channel, and an extra special thank you to the premium members. I just appreciate you guys so much. And thank you, as always, just for watching. I really appreciate you being here with me. To see my thoughts on some new under eye correctors and whether they're worth your money or not, be sure to check out this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.